Laughter. The kind that cuts. It echoed off the marble walls, spilling like cheap champagne. We were at Damien's estate, a house built to remind everyone that wealth could be louder than God. Crystal chandeliers, manicured smiles, a pianist in the corner playing songs nobody was listening to. And then there was her, my wife, in a red dress meant to wound me. I reached for her hand as the band shifted to something slow, something that reminded me of the nights we used to matter. She flinched like I'd burned her. I leaned closer, tried to kiss her, whisper something only a husband should say. She looked at me, voice low but sharp enough to silence the room. You are not worthy to touch me. Your kiss makes me sick. The laughter came instantly, our rich friends feeding on humiliation like wine. But then, just as quickly, it died. Because I was smiling. And when I spoke, my voice was calm, steady, deliberate. Funny, I said. That's almost exactly what he said when I told him who you really are. The silence that followed was surgical. She froze. And that was how the night began to end. It hadn't always been this way. Once, she was gentle, brilliant, the kind of woman whose silence felt like poetry instead of distance. Then came Damien, my oldest friend, the man whose fortune was built on inheritance and deceit. He invited us everywhere, his yacht, his cabin, his circles of power and vanity. I didn't belong, but my wife fit in perfectly, too perfectly. I noticed the small things first, how her laughter lingered longer when he spoke, how she adjusted her dress when he entered the room, how his eyes didn't wander, they searched. One night, I woke to find her phone lighting the dark. His name. A message. He'll never see it coming. I didn't confront her, not then. Instead, I started watching, quietly. She became colder, her affection rehearsed. Everything she touched began to feel like evidence. And every smile she gave me became a lie I could almost taste. I started piecing it together the way an archaeologist unearths bones, carefully, reverently. Damien's trips to Paris for business, her sister weekends, bank withdrawals she couldn't explain. A new bracelet she said was a gift from the girls. I checked the jeweler's records. Damien's name was on the receipt. I said nothing. Instead, I moved methodically, changed nothing outwardly, woke up beside her each morning and kissed her forehead like always. Inside, I built a case. Emails, photos, timestamps. The truth was easy to find once I accepted it, wanted to be found. But it wasn't enough to expose them, not yet. Because revenge, to be perfect, requires patience. Then I discovered something else. Damien's investment fund, the one he bragged about to anyone who'd listen. It wasn't as stable as it appeared. One carefully placed leak, one whisper of scandal, and his empire would bleed before dawn. And she, my dear wife, was listed as a silent partner. She'd tied her future to his fortune. So I did what any betrayed man with a calm mind would do. I took my time. When the crash came, it was beautiful. A single anonymous email to the financial press, a forged document or two. Nothing illegal, just illumination. Damien's fund imploded in less than 48 hours. His partners turned on him, investors fled, lawsuits bloomed like rot. And she, my wife, was trapped in the wreckage. Her accounts frozen, her name exposed. I watched her unravel quietly, pretending to comfort her. She wept into my chest, whispering apologies for stress, for bad luck, for everything except truth. That night I slipped the final piece into place, a file, printed and sealed, left on Damien's desk. Inside, every message, every meeting, every betrayal. Her face, her voice, her loyalty sold for comfort. When he read it, he didn't call her, he didn't forgive her. He called me. I should have seen it, he said. You always were smarter than both of us. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. And that led us to tonight, the party. A last gasp of wealth before the tide pulled them both under. She walked in beside me like nothing had changed, still clinging to the illusion of grace. The guests whispered. They all knew the scandal, the bankruptcy, the gossip. When she humiliated me on the dance floor, she thought she'd reclaimed control. She thought she could make me small again. But when I spoke, when I said he had already called me, when I told her I'd shown him everything, the mask cracked. Her glass fell from her hand and shattered against the marble. Damien was there, standing behind her, eyes dark and distant. The crowd parted around him. He didn't say a word, didn't need to. He just turned and walked out, leaving her standing there, alone, surrounded by people suddenly too polite to look at her. I finished my drink, set it down, and whispered, "You were right, you know." She looked up, trembling. "About what?" "That I'm not worthy of you." I smiled. "No one is." And I walked away before she could fall apart. The drive home was silent. Not the silence of peace, no, something sharper. Something like the end of an echo. She moved out 2 days later. No message, no apology, just absence. Her name appeared in the papers again last month. Fraud charges, bank accounts seized. Damien's empire officially dead. Sometimes I reread the articles while sipping coffee in the morning. Not out of nostalgia, just curiosity. People like them always believed money made them untouchable. But wealth is fragile when built on deceit. Now, they live in the ruins they made together. And me? I dance alone now. No audience, no ridicule, no applause. Just quiet control. She taught me that worth isn't proven by love. It's proven by how calmly you can destroy the people who thought you had none.